Welcome back to my channel. Hello to my gals, gays and days, and a very happy February. It's a new month, it's a new day. Every day is a new day. We may still be in lockdown, but hey, we're here, we survived January. Basically, I just wanted to sit down and make this video because obviously we have February, we have Aquarius season, but we also have Valentine's Day. And I feel like when you're single, people sometimes make you feel like Valentine's Day isn't for you. Or like, I don't know, I feel like there's this narrative that, you know, if you're single, you hate Valentine's Day. I know when I was single 4 years ago, I hated it. I used to be like, oh my god, cringe. Ugh, I'm single. Ugh, it's not a day for me. But now I'm like, no, this is a day for me. This is the best day ever for me. It's basically like a birthday, but you give it to yourself. So yeah, and I think a reason I wanted to make this video was because as well, I remember I did a question box on my Instagram like a few weeks ago, and one of the questions I got was like, how do I enjoy being single without constantly feeling like I need to seek a partner? And I was like, that is so interesting, because I feel like in society, especially as women, we're made feel less than if we don't have a partner. So instantly I answered the question and I feel like I had some good tips, but then I was like, no, we need to go further with this, because I don't want any of my gals, gays and days feeling like they can't enjoy being single. But before I get into the video, I want to have a quick little chat about some of the jewelry I am wearing. So most of my jewelry that I have on today is from one of my absolute fave brands. If you've seen my videos before, you will have seen me rave about them. So it is Luisa, and they are currently running a 15% off sale on all of their products for Valentine's Day. So even if you don't have a boo, you need to go do you, because there's nothing better than a little bit of bling. There's so many reasons why I absolutely adore Luisa. Now the first being obviously is all of the pieces are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm such a jewelry gal. I love having little pieces that I can kind of have on me on the daily. But one thing that's super important to me is Luisa are really sustainable, and I feel like with everything that I care about morally as a consumer, that's super important to me. So coming down to how they source the materials and how they dispose of their waste, they kind of offset 100% of their carbon emissions, which is amazing. As well as that, all of the pieces are made to last, so they're tarnish free and really handcrafted with care, so you know that they're going to be pieces that are going to last you, which I think is so important when we're buying things now. If anything is, you know, not up to that standard, they offer a 365-day guarantee, which is amazing. The tarnish free thing, I promise you, there's some pieces which I have on, which I've had for a few months or so, I've worn in the shower, etc, and literally no damage. Even some of my rings, I'm like washing my hands, you know, COVID free, and I'm like still literally no damage. So the tarnish free, I promise you, it's true. That's what you want when you're buying jewelry, especially when you get like into your mid-20s like me. I feel like I always just want to buy pieces that I know I'm gonna kind of have for a long time. But the best part about that is all of their pieces are super affordable. So I feel like sometimes when we hear like, you know, long lasting, tarnish free, we think, oh, I don't know if I can afford that. Is it going to be really expensive? But the great thing about Luisa is there is no luxury markups. So the pieces start at around $39, and then there's obviously some higher end pieces, but I promise you it is so worth it. But don't forget, we do have a 15% off sale, and it's Valentine's Day, so treat yourself. I'm going to show you some of the bits that I got new kind of recently as well, and then you can obviously go and check out the sale yourself. So I recently got this gorge little padlock. I absolutely love this, and you know, Valentine's Day, I feel I have the key to my heart. I think it's a super cute little piece, especially for the month that's in it. Then I got this bracelet. I feel like I chose this one out because I feel like when I'm buying jewelry, one thing I kind of always forget about is my wrists, and then I'm just walking around and, you know, my wrists feel a bit naked. So I love a bracelet, and I love knowing that this is going to be one that's going to last me and that I can just wear it all the time without worrying about it. And then lastly, I chose out this gorge little ring. There it is. So I feel like this is such a perfect kind of stacking ring, and I love stacking my jewelry, as you can see from the stacking that I've got going on here from some of my older pieces. This one would go so well kind of on that finger. Like, you can do so much with it. I feel like I just wanted it on my thumb because, again, I always forget about my thumbs. It's like my wrists. So I just kind of forget they're there, and then I'm like, oh, they're a bit naked. Yeah, those are the pieces I chose. So I'm gonna leave a link down below which will take you straight to the website with all the 15% off products. So go wild, girls. It's Valentine's Day. It's Galentine's Day. We deserve some new jewelry. So let's get back to why and how you should learn to love being single. I feel like that's such
a tongue twister.
Maybe it isn't. Maybe I just can't actually physically talk anymore. The first thing I have is that because you're going to attract the wrong person. So if you're one of these people that's like, I just need a relationship, I just need somebody, I just need this, and I feel like by doing that you're almost trying to fill a void because you're like not comfortable in your own skin. And I know it's hard, the loneliness, and I feel like some people actually genuinely find it really hard to just be on their own or be in their own company. But I feel like the problem with that is that you're literally not kind of having standards for yourself, and I don't mean that in a way that's like she has no standards. It's not, that's not what I mean. I just mean we kind of settle for things that we maybe wouldn't actually like, but we're kind of like, you know, oh, but that's fine, or like I'll get past that because, you know, I just want somebody. But and I feel like as well, so I said at the start of the video, I feel like women especially, now don't get me wrong, I think like men go through this as well, but I think generally in society women get it harder because of, you know, history and women, you know,
having to settle down.
I feel like we're just kind of pressured into relationships or made feel like we should be in a relationship, and that's where I think the standards kind of go out the window because we're kind of like, oh, but I'll just get past it because I don't mind, because I just want a person. And that's where I think toxic kind of relationships form. You know, we put up with these things that we really don't like, I mean, and then eventually you're gonna form some kind of resentment. So I think that's what I mean by attracting the wrong person. I don't necessarily mean that people attract toxic relationships. I'm not saying that, because I know law of attraction, believe me, I believe in it, but I don't believe we attract our trauma, and I don't believe we just attract the wrong person. But I think when you haven't done the work on yourself and you're just kind of seeking a relationship to fill this void, that's when you attract the wrong person. And overall you're just kind of gonna be looking for someone to make, you know, if you're looking for someone to make you happy, you're not gonna be happy. And that kind of brings me on to my next point, which is by settling, you're not honoring yourself, and in the long run are only making yourself unhappy. And I have a really good quote to read about this afterward. No, I'll read it now. So I'm still reading Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. It's taken me, I think I started it in lockdown 1.0, but we're getting there. I need to spend less time on my phone. I'm really, February, that's one of my goals, to get my screen time down, because girl, January was not good. Working from home is killing me. But anyway, my quote about not honoring ourselves in terms of settling, but this one says, so the most sought after cover up for the continuous background unease are intimate relationships. A man or a woman is going to make me happy. It is of course also one of the most frequently experienced of all the letdowns, and when the unease surfaces again, people will usually blame their partner for it. So it's kind of shifting the blame. So if you're unhappy before you get into this relationship, but you're just kind of, as I said, settling for things that you know you don't like, but it's fine because I like that they do this for me. It's like, well, you need to communicate that issue with them, and if they can't fix it, girl, bye. Girl, bye, because we have boundaries in 2021. But I feel like, again, some people just push past that and then get to the point where they have to blame their partner for their unhappiness. So I just feel like it's a bit of a vicious cycle, but that's why we need to do the work on ourselves before we get into these relationships. Which brings me on to my next point. When you form a loving relationship with yourself, you will attract the right person. And I feel like this one is hard because, especially if you've been single for, I don't know, a long time, it can feel like, oh, I have to lower my standards because my standards are too high. But like, no, it's so much better to be alone and happy than in a relationship unhappy. And trust me, I spent I'm gonna say 4 fucking years. My whole relationship was 4 years, but I think I was unhappy for most of it, but I just wanted somebody. And that's why I feel like, as much as this is definitely unsolicited advice, I feel like I'm solicited to give it because I've been there. I know what it's like to just kind of crave validation and attention from somebody else, because, you know, you just think, oh, I'm not gonna get any better than that, do you know? But it's like, no, you need to learn to validate yourself, and that's what I'm gonna get onto now when we do the hows and how to love being single. Because I think being single and loving being single, you just have to have a really strong relationship with yourself. And then when you form that strong bond, strong relationship with yourself, you're gonna attract the right person. And the thing is I think, you know, the people who don't have that loving relationship with themselves, they're looking for somebody to kind of better them. Is where when we're comfortable in our own skin, we don't need anyone to better us. We just need someone to bring something to the table. We don't need them to bring the table. They're bringing a meal to the table, something extra, you know, or like they're bringing the dessert. We bring the meal and they bring the dessert. So that's what we want. So I'm gonna get onto the house now, and I've done videos like this before, but I was just thinking, you know, Valentine's Day, I feel like people need a little reminder. My first one is stop saying you're single and say that you are in a relationship with yourself. Let me tell you, I started doing this last year after my breakup, and it's been the best thing ever. I feel like I've built the best relationship with myself, like better than I ever have. And I think also being in lockdowns has forced me to have an amazing relationship with myself, because who else can I have a relationship with? But that's what I mean as well when I was kind of saying, you know, even since my breakup, there's been people that I've been texting or whatever that I've definitely let those boundaries or standards kind of slip a bit, because I'm like, oh, it's only, you know, is where now I'm like, no, I didn't like that. So thank God, the no talking stage, did I just spit? I did. But anyway, thank God none of my talking phases got past the talking phases, because I would probably be unhappy again. So there was things that I let slide. But yeah, stop saying you're single and start saying you're in a relationship with yourself, because then I think it gets easier to kind of do the rest of the steps. My next thing is do things for yourself that you would want or expect a romantic partner to do. So I think my first thing on this one, and you all know me, if you know me, maybe you're new here, but if you're not new here, you know, for the past probably, okay, my breakup isn't a year yet, so I haven't been it's not my year anniversary in a relationship with myself yet, but you best believe I'm throwing myself a party for that. But since then, every single week I buy myself a bouquet of flowers. Now it might only be like a €5 bouquet of flowers, sometimes $2.99, but that's what I do for myself, because I'm like, this is something that's nice, and if somebody else did this for me, I would be simping so hard over them. So now I just have to simp for myself, because I'm like, this bitch bought me flowers. Speaking of that, I want to show you this bouquet I got today. Look at this. From an Irish brand, an Irish independent new florist. She does all of the kind of color schemes based on street art and everything, so absolutely stunning. So check them out. I will leave her handle here. It's Paradiso Plant Club. Stunning. But I mean, you don't even have to buy yourself flowers, just like, you know, do things for yourself that you would want somebody else to do for you. So another thing that I do is I remember I always wanted someone to buy me Savage Fenty, like a set from Savage Fenty, or even just any lingerie, like gorge lingerie. And then the end of last year, I just went fucking mad. I spent so much money on gorgeous lingerie, and you know what, I think I might do it again before Valentine's Day, because that's what I would want somebody to do for me. I love gorge little sets, and you know, I will never forget being told by a partner, he would buy me a Savage Fenty set if it didn't go on my Instagram. And it wasn't in like a sexy kind of way, it was in a real like I own you kind of way. But we won't go there, we won't go there. I got the Savage Fenty set and I did post it on my Instagram, and I got a different lingerie set and I did post it on my Instagram, because I did that for me, and that I think made it even more empowering. But as well as, you know, buying yourself things, I think another thing is just like have a little date with yourself. And obviously I know we're in lockdown right now, so it's not like we can actually take ourselves on dates, but obviously this video I hopefully will age, so when we are at a lockdown, take yourself for dinner. It's the most amazing thing. I especially love it in the summer, you know, sitting outside somewhere, glass of wine, bit of sushi, amazing. No one to annoy you, no one, just you, and you're just sitting there being your selfish little self. It's amazing. Lockdown self-date ideas. You know what I'm gonna do on Valentine's Day? I am literally having a date with myself. I'm gonna dress up, I'm gonna wear a nice dress, I'm gonna wear a wig, I'm gonna do my makeup, I'm gonna have a bath, I'm gonna take my vibrator out, I'm gonna do it all, because we need to have dates with ourselves, because then again, when we do eventually start dating again, we know what we want in terms of a date or in terms of a partner. So cook yourself a nice meal, buy yourself a nice bottle of wine. I literally did that for myself last weekend. I bought myself a bottle of Dada red wine, and I was like, this is a treat. but I deserve it. Next thing is buy yourself gifts. So I feel like I haven't stopped doing this lately, but I feel like I'm still gonna do it for Valentine's Day. So I know I spoke about it with the flowers and things like that, but I think they're just little small things that you would maybe expect, you know, other people to do for you. But I think buy yourself something like a lingerie set, or, you know, if there's something that you've wanted for a while, buy it. And I think this comes down to like birthday presents, Christmas presents, Valentine's Day as well, but also just kind of in regular life as well. I can't stop, as I said. You know, when it comes to Christmas, you know, people are getting engaged. Certain holidays, I feel like people always get engaged. So like, or like, you know, it's just, I feel like they're always very couple orientated, and when you're single, you're kind of made feel a bit left out of that. So it's like, no, what are we doing? We're buying ourselves a gift. I literally have a birthday list written for myself. Now I did say the other day, does somebody want to wife me before then, because it's getting a bit extensive, but I'm just like manifesting. So yeah, write yourself a birthday list from yourself to yourself and go fucking crazy. Now my final one, because I know this can be hard, and I feel like for me, this is the only time I ever really feel like lonely. It comes down to, let's talk about sex, baby. But let me tell you, this is one of my favorite things about being single as well, because again, I have these boundaries sexually now. I know what I want, I know what I don't want, I know when and where and how I want somebody to have the pleasure of touching my body. So yeah, but I feel like, you know, getting a vibrator and figuring out exactly what I like, because I feel like I never really got to, you know, figure that out properly until I was single, is where like now I feel like I would be able to, you know, have that experience with a partner. And also, as I said, you know, when I'm getting with a new partner, or I feel like even with, you know, somebody who is familiar, I want to be able to say, no, I don't want you to do that, I want you to do this, or I want you to do it in this way. Sometimes just being able to say a plain straight out no. I feel like as well, especially in relationships, men think we owe them our bodies. I don't owe you my body, I literally don't. So I feel like I've a boundary from being single as well, and also I know what I like now. So get yourself a vibrator, figure out what you like, because also another thing is you are probably going to teach yourself orgasm a lot better than a man will. I think another thing that is so important when we're like learning to love to be single, you need to do the journal work, you need to do that shadow work. I literally found a TikTok which this girl has been doing 365 days of shadow work, so if I can find it, I'll leave that down below as well, because I think that's so important in doing the self-discovery piece. Go to therapy, figure out which parts of yourself you need to heal. Something as well I've loved lately is I have been reading some poetry. So I have Inward by Young Pueblo, Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, sorry I can never pronounce that, and then I also have this little calendar for each day. It's called The Poetry of Samantha King Holmes and R.H. Sin. And one of the poems in this one of the days literally said, settling is the only true enemy of love. And I think that just comes back to everything that I said throughout the video, and honoring yourself. So yeah, I think that wraps up my video. No, I just wanted to make sure that we're all loving ourselves this Valentine's Day. The final thing that I would say is, like, think about all of this time that we get to have with ourselves as we're single. And you know, I feel like a lot of the time, as I said, we're kind of made feel like that's a bad thing, but at the end of the day, think about the majority of people in life and how much time they spend with a partner and giving away to somebody else, or giving away to children. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because I know if you find the right person and when you have children, it's the most beautiful experience in the world. But stop kind of wishing for that moment and just kind of be in this moment and be like, you know what, I'm enjoying what I have right now, and I'm enjoying this time to myself. I know for me, I found it's given me time to really dedicate myself and my time to my passions and the things that I care about. And I think by doing all of those things and honoring yourself, you're giving yourself time to be the best version of yourself, which means you're going to be the best version of yourself for somebody else. And I think that's just so important. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and also remember it's Valentine's Day and you deserve a little treat. So be sure to follow the link in the description to check out the 15% off sale on Ana Luisa. And yeah, thanks for watching.